I didn't think I was gonna be in that much pain, and it was the worst, some of the worst days of my life, like way worse than childbirth, way worse. I'm back. I wanted to make a video about my Pectus Carinatum because it's very rare, so I'm sure a lot of people don't know what it is, because, I mean, why would you? I don't know. So, Pectus Carinatum is also known as pigeon chest. I'll put the actual definition on the bottom, but basically it's like where your ribs and your sternum kind of pushes out, caused by like excess cartilage growth. So my mom, when I was 3, she noticed that my chest was like pushed out a little bit, but on my left side, not like my whole chest. And she took me to a doctor, and basically he was like, you know, she'll grow out of it, she'll grow into it, it'll move around because her bones are still growing, and you know. She listened to the doctor, didn't do anything. When I was like 12 maybe, you could really tell that like something was wrong, and to me, like, I've had it my whole life, so it wasn't really like an issue to me. It didn't bother me, but people started noticing it when I'd wear like bathing suits or tank tops. But again, like, my bones weren't done growing yet. I was only 12. They don't stop till you're 14. So I just waited it out. When I was in my senior year of high school, I was on the bowling team, and I noticed that every time I would bowl, it would put a lot of strain on my chest, and I started not being able to really breathe easily. It hurt when I'd like hug people. One day when I was bowling, I like collapsed to the floor because I was in so much pain. So my mom came, picked me up. She took me to this hospital that is known for like not being a good hospital at all. And they misdiagnosed me. They basically said I had like a back problem. I don't really remember what it was, but I was like, this is wrong. This isn't right. I need to go to a different hospital. So my mom called a thoracic surgeon, and he was like one of the best in the area. We met up with him, and he, you know, looked at my chest, and he was like, I know exactly what this is. This is Pectus Carinatum. And he goes, it's most common in boys, and it's usually both sides are popped out. He goes, but yours is only the right side. So like my left breast is popped out a lot more than my right, and there was always like, you could feel the difference. There was like a big like ledge almost. So he goes, I'm gonna see if we can fit you for a brace, something similar to what you would use if you had scoliosis. And I do have scoliosis. So he called us one day and was like, we can't fit her for a brace because she's 17, she's too old, her bones aren't gonna move back into place, so our only option is surgery. And he goes, now it's technically cosmetic. He goes, and if it's really bothering you that much, we'll send it into insurance and see if they cover it. So I was like, all right, it is bothering me. I'm having a really hard time with like daily things. So insurance approved it. I went in to get my blood drawn to see if, basically to prepare myself for the surgery. So I go into his office, and he was like, yeah, so we're ready to do the surgery on Wednesday. And it was Friday at that point. So that means I had like 5 days to prepare myself for an invasive surgery. And my mom was freaking out because he gave us no time. He was like, this is the closest date, here you go. Like, we didn't get a choice. He was like, we're doing it this day. So I had to go in, tell my teachers I had to take 3 weeks off, because the first week I'd be in the hospital, and then I'd have 2 weeks to stay at home because it's extremely invasive, and they wanted to make sure that nothing was moved out of place or anything. So I was perfectly fine. Like, I actually wanted to get the surgery because I've never had like anything close to surgery. I haven't really broken a bone, I've broken my fingers, so like I wanted something like to experience, and I wasn't nervous. I was like, whatever, I'm going in there, I'm getting surgery, whatever. It's April 13th, 2016. Go in for surgery, and I thought I was gonna get nervous, like while I'm in the bed waiting to get rolled into the operating room. I wasn't scared at all. I was totally fine. My mom's crying. They're trying to like calm me down, but I was like, I'm fine. Like, I'm perfectly fine. I'm just going in for surgery, because it didn't really hit me that what was about to happen was about to happen. I told them, I was like, I heard that you don't really remember like the last 30 seconds before you go under. Like, I'm not gonna remember what the operating room's gonna look like. And they're like, yeah, you're not going to. So I was like, all right, challenge accepted. I was like, I'm gonna remember. The last thing I remember is being wheeled into the room, and it was just all white. It's not what it looked like on like Grey's Anatomy or anything like that. It was like an all white room with like different things everywhere. I remember them strapping me down like this. Like, it was terrifying. And then they told me to count down from 10. I remember getting to 8, and then I was out. I think the surgery lasted about 3 hours, I wanna say 3 or 4. I woke up in the elevator as they're like moving me, and I remember the first thing I said was, I remember what the room looks like. I couldn't really like talk because it hurt. I was really sore. And then I remember passing out again. I woke up in their like recovery room in the ICU and telling my mom like, I'm starving, like I need to eat. And the first day I was okay with foods, but the second day was terrible. They literally had like green bags, like portable bags that were next to me because they knew I was gonna be nauseous, and I could not keep down anything. I just was throwing up constantly. I was in so much pain. I didn't think I was gonna be in that much pain, and it was the worst, some of the worst days of my life, like way worse than childbirth, way worse. But I have like the best friends in the entire world who came on the second day, and they came and surprised me with gifts and stuff. My friend Danny brought me Italian homework and like came to check in on me. But I felt so bad because like no one could stay for more than like 2 minutes, because I was so tired that like I would try to keep my eyes open and talk to them, but I would just like roll over and pass out. And my mom's like, I think you guys need to leave because she can't handle this. So all I could really eat were smoothies. My dad kept bringing me, like once a day, he'd come and visit me and bring me a smoothie from Dunkin' Donuts. But yeah, they let me go early because I was doing really well, and I don't know, I guess they had faith in me. They shouldn't have let me go. They let me go on like the 3rd or 4th day. When I tell you, the worst pain was getting out of the bed, into the wheelchair, to go to the car. Like, I couldn't move. My chest, like, it was so painful. So we get home, and now the surgery was on my left side. I could not move my left hand. I kept it like this, and it was locking up because I just would not move it. It hurt like hell. So we got a sling so that I didn't lock my arm, and I had the sling for like 2 weeks maybe? No, longer. I had the sling for like 4 weeks. So I was walking around with the sling, only one hand I could use. My mom had to sleep in bed with me every night because I had to sleep sitting up because I couldn't sleep on my back or my stomach or anything. So I had to sleep sitting up, and that would cause my back to start to get really bad knots. And I would wake up in the middle of the night hysterically crying because my chest was hurting, my back was hurting. I was like doubled over in pain. My mom's like half asleep. She's grabbing icy hot and she's rubbing my back with it so that it would relax me enough to be able to go back to sleep. And that was like that. I think she slept in bed with me for like 3 or 4 nights when I got home, and then I was finally able to like lay a little bit more down each night. It was the worst. It was so bad. And like, if you have Pectus Carinatum and you're thinking about getting the surgery, God, if you don't have to do it, don't do it. Because I really didn't need to, but I was so sick of the pain, and my doctor even told me like it might not get rid of the pain. You might still be in pain. And I was like, yeah, but at least it'll look normal, you know? After the surgery, my chest was completely flat, and it was weird because like I'm so used to having this bump, and now it's like completely flat, and I had a huge red scar, and I'll show you the scar at the end of the video. I'll show you how my chest currently looks almost 3 years later. But now my sternum is slowly pushing back out, and I have to actually go to my doctor for that because I don't think that's normal. I'll show you at the end of like what it looks like, and I'll show you a picture of my x-ray. So basically what they did was she told me he's going to have to cut a J almost, and have to cut like that, but he ended up only having to cut here. He took out 3 ribs. I'm pretty sure the ones that are up here, now they're titanium plates. Then he stitched me back up. I also had a drain in me that was here. I have a scar from that too. And I had the drain in me for 2 weeks, I think, and I actually had a nurse have to come to my house. I don't remember how often. I want to say it was either once a day or once a week. I had a nurse come to my house to check it, to change my bandages, to see how I was recovering. And she was the best nurse ever. She was actually my nurse from my high school. So she knew me and she gave me like a present at the end. It was like so sweet. It was a cool experience, I guess, but it was not worth it. It was so painful. And if they tell me I need another surgery to correct this, I'm gonna cry because terrible, terrible. It was so bad. And so I have pictures of how I looked in the hospital, and I'll insert them right here, but I was so drugged up. It was so bad. I wish I had a picture of like how it looked right after. I don't think I have one. I'll show you like the x-ray. So there's 3 ribs missing. You can see the titanium plates, and you can also see my spine, which is like literally terrible, terrible. I'll show you my scar, how it looked when it was like bright red, and I'll show you it now. This is what it looked like when it was like, I want to say 3 or 4 months after I had the surgery. It was like this red. But now, this is the scar right under my boob. And then the drain scar is right there. And then I guess I'll try to show you my bones. So right there, clearly, you can see part of my sternum popping out. And down here, you can see all those bones. This is the middle of my breasts. And like, it is so painful. Like, touching it doesn't hurt, but like if I bend a certain way, or if I'm sleeping and like I get pushed, or like just certain positions and activities really hurt it. But yeah, that's it. And it's funny because like a lot of pictures you can so see it. Like I'll just be taking a picture with my friend and like you'll just see it, and it doesn't bother me. It's not like an insecurity. I think it's pretty cool, honestly, but it's just like annoying because like people are always like, what is that? And this is why I'm making that video, honestly. And I'm also making it because when I was about to have my surgery, I couldn't find any videos on Pectus Carinatum or like the surgery process, because the only videos I found were of guys and they had both pieces out, like both sides, and they also were fitted for braces. So I have a very rare kind. I have dysphoria that mostly men get, and I have one side of it, not both. So yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of cool. It's kind of weird. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. All right, bye guys.